So, ladies and gentlemen, I get the opportunity and privilege to be before you every Wednesday to help you understand how to unlock the skill set, the greatness that's housed in your mind. And everything that you desire to be, it's always going to be centered around your thoughts, and your thoughts lead to your actions. Your action leads to your behaviors, and your behavior leads to your results. So, my name is Gerald D. The millionaire producer. And tonight, I want to talk about the word commitment and what is commitment. What is commitment? We're going to talk about commitment to yourself. We're going to talk about commitment to your dreams, as well as commitment to your purpose. So when you think about where you are and who you are, many of us find ourselves missing the mark because our inability to commit to the end. Guess what happens? In due season, we shall reap if we faint not. And in order for us to reap the rewards of success, to reap the rewards of time freedom, location freedom, we must be willing to commit to ourselves first, be willing to commit to our dreams, meaning that we're willing to roll up our sleeve, put the work in necessary, and then commit to our purpose. So when I think about the word commitment, it's the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or an activity for a sustained amount of time until the task is complete. The state of quality or being dedicated to a cause and activity until the task is complete. Now, when you think about where you are right now and on your financial journey, your enhancement, your personal development, everything that I want to help you bring to the forefront, it's all about examining ourselves and seeing where we are in the equation. Now, if you could be better at committing until the task is completed, staying anchored in the cause, I need you to drop a 777 in the chat. If you can find yourself committed at a greater capacity to get the desired results and outcomes that you desire. So what we want to be able to do is help you recalibrate yourself tonight so that you can now maximize your strength, your ability, and then the end result is making sure that you have the understanding on how to maximize the results that you desire. And in order for that to happen, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We always have to realize that success, no matter what type of success we desire, is always an inside out job. So guess what happens? When we commit to our dreams, we commit to ourselves, and we commit to our purpose, then the results will be flourishing, fruitful, and fantastic. So what does commitment mean to you? I want you to let that sink in for a second. And I want you to really get to the root of the matter. What does commitment mean to you? What does commitment mean to you? Now, before we move on, I want to make sure that you got an opportunity to just really understand the magnitude and the importance of commitment. So just drop it in the chat. Give me one word when you think about commitment and what it means to you. Give me one word that would summarize what commitment means to you. And once again, you must always be an active participant in your personal rescue. So when I'm asking these questions, this is the requirement, the prerequisite to get the results needed, that you have to be able to endure like a good soul, trust the process. So commitment. And then guess what? How do you feel when you fully commit to something? How do you feel when you fully commit to something? Because not only is it necessary for you to have a mental assent of what commitment means, there has to be an emotional understanding that's lodged in your subconscious mind to be able to maximize what it feels, right? And then understanding what it feels like, and then being able to forge forward when it doesn't feel good, when it's not comfortable, when you are having having to do those things that many people choose not to do, have the ability to do, but refuse to make the commitment to get the desired outcomes that they desire. Watch this. Commitment is what transforms a promise into reality. In other words, staying power, completing the task until it's complete, completing the task until it's complete. And so we want to talk about focus. And when we think about focus, it's simply about filtering out confusion until successful. Filtering out confusion until successful. Yes. Guess what? Distractions are apparent all around many of us, but the difference is your focus. Filtering out confusion until successful. So that's what we mean when we're talking about commitment. What are you willing to do to commit to get the outcomes, the results, the things that you've always wanted to do for your family, you travel around the world, the impact that you want to have in your local place of fellowship? So commitment to yourself. What are we talking about? We're talking about self-respect, valuing yourself and honoring your internal promises and not being disconnected by the external opinions of individuals who don't know or have the understanding of the intestinal fortitude that abides on the inside of you. That's number one. And then we're talking about self-discipline, consistently showing up even when it's tough, even when the naysayers said that you're not able, you're not capable. And the naysayers come in all forms of fashion. They come in the form of family members, friends, and even the enemy within inside of ourselves, self-doubt, self-sabotage. But self-discipline is consistently showing up even when it's tough. And then commitment to yourself. We're talking about breaking old habits, leaving behind limited behaviors, limited thought process, limited belief. That's why it's so important for you to be engaged and infused in environments and communities such as you're experiencing tonight, to be able to be held accountable to results that go far beyond the limitations that we put on ourselves and the mindset of doubt, fear, and trepidation. Commitment to yourself, self-respect, valuing yourself, and honoring your internal promises. I want you to let this sink in for a second. Valuing yourself and honoring your internal promises. Self-discipline, consistently showing up even when it's tough, even when it doesn't feel good, even when you begin to seem as if you're not moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand the children of Israel were given a promise to occupy land flowing with milk and honey. And the transportation method was their feet. And the journey was literally only an 11-day journey. But it ended up taking 40 years because these principles were not entrenched in the individuals. So I want you to capture this moment for yourself and say, yes, self-respect. I value myself, and I'm going to honor my eternal promises. And then I'm going to do what's necessary. I'm going to do what's required. Self-discipline. I'm consistently showing up even when it's tough. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this crusade and this journey to impact and empower people for 30 plus years. And I made a commitment that anyone who is willing to listen, I'm going to give them, and I'm going to give them 100% every time. No matter how many times I have to present myself, I'm still committed to the results and the outcomes. And the only thing that I have control over is what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Look, I'm challenging somebody.
So this is what I have control over on a day-to-day basis. This is what I have control over on a day-to-day basis. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is about you and now releasing yourself and breaking old habits. Breaking old habits. So if you're excited about hearing this information right now, and if it's resonating with you, I want you to drop a 555 in the chat. If what I'm talking about literally makes sense. Because when I think about the people who are hearing this information, those of you who have showed up for yourself on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, guess what? You have already become a part of the majority. Watch this. Yes, I said the majority. The majority is because greatness is housed on the inside of you. So now it's our responsibility, it's my responsibility to bring it to your realization. And when you realize that greatness is you, are you, guess what? Then you will continually be who you already are. But it starts with commitment to yourself. Many of us make commitments to everyone and everything, but we have been misguided to believe that it's not okay to make a commitment to ourselves. But yes, I'm releasing you tonight. I'm empowering you tonight to understand that in order for your environment to change, you have to be willing to commit to yourself. You have to be willing to commit to yourself. And once that takes place, that's, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Then it's an affirmation. You want to write this down. You want to make this a part of your daily habit. I commit to honoring myself, my time, and my growth. Romans 12:2, the B part says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, your willingness to honor yourself, your time, and your growth, you have total control of the end results. And then visualization. You have to see yourself beyond what you see. I'm going to say that again. You have to see yourself beyond what you see. In other words, you have to see it, you have to say it, and then you seize it. You see it, you say it, and then you seize it. Imagine the best version of yourself. What do you do differently? It starts with you and I minding our mind. Affirmation, I commit to honoring myself, my time, and my growth. No matter what skill you're attempting to possess, and I tell people all the time, the more you work on yourself, personal development, then the skill set, the attraction becomes a byproduct. You are going to attract who you are mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So in order for those images to transform externally, we must capture the images internally first. Now, once again, if this is making sense to any of you tonight, I want you to drop an 888 in the chat. If you're willing to make the commitment to honor yourself, your time, and your growth. If you're willing to honor yourself, your time, and your growth. And then you have to see it, you have to say it, and you have to seize it. And you have to see it, say it, and seize it. And you have to see it until you see it. You have to see it till you see it. You have to say it till you, and keep saying it. And as you keep saying it, you'll seize it. You will seize it. Yes. I am absolutely excited and jacked out of my mind because those of you who are listening under the sound of my voice, I'm just here to unleash, unlock, and remind you of who you already are. And then guess what? Now that you've made the commitment to yourself, now it's time for you to commit to your dreams. Dreams become reality with consistent effort. It is your repetition that gives you your reputation. We are repeatedly what we think, what we say, and what we do. Your dreams become your reality with consistent effort. Your dreams become reality with consistent effort. And then we must prioritize. Prioritization requires sacrificing. What are you willing to pay the price for up front in order to live in the results that you desire? What are you willing to pay up front in order to live in the results that you desire? And then resilience in the face of challenges is the key. What are you willing to endure? Is it worth it for you to transform your mind so that you can now have the impact that you were created to have dominion, to be fruitful, to multiply, to transform communities, your personal household, your place of fellowship, and anyone who's connected to you? When they come into your space, because you are so energized, so electric, their lives change because you were present in their lives. It reminds me of a scenario when Paul and Silas was incarcerated and they began to materialize their dreams. They began to speak affirmations in prayer, and they began to sing songs. And because of these two individuals, everyone who was bound, who was locked down, who was in prison, because of their energy, the earth shook. And even the people who were unaware of what they were doing became benefactors of their affirmations, their prayers, their song. Ladies and gentlemen, you're those type of catalysts that is designed to transform communities. Not only are you transforming communities, you're transforming cities, then states, then regions, then nations. Yes, commit to your dreams. Dreams become reality with consistent effort. Now, here's the reality about being consistent. You will reproduce after your own kind. If you're consistent in being whatever it is, then the results will be your fruit. What are you willing to do to stay committed to your dreams? And because of your dreams and the effort, then lastly, commit to your purpose. Commit to your purpose. You were created more than just pay bills. You were created to have impact. You were created to transform lives, communities. So you must align your actions with your values. You must align your actions with your values. What you value, you will pursue. What you value, you will pursue. What you value, you will pursue. Align your actions with your values. And then purpose-driven action require consistency over comfort. Purpose requires driven actions, consistency over comfort. Consistency over comfort. Consistency over comfort. Are you tired of not being the person that God said you are? And if that's the case, then understand that success and comfort are completely opposite. And my responsibility is to help you be comfortable with being uncomfortable at all times. That's what I'm here for, to challenge you, to say every single day, we appreciate today, but the goal is to be better than we were previously. And then reflect on what fulfills you most. Are you living in alignment with it? What are you doing every single day that makes you say, I'm willing to endure? I'm willing to remove my comfort zone because my comfort zone has kept me in bondage. My comfort zone has not allowed me to have time freedom. My comfort zone has not allowed me to flourish. If God is no respecter of person, then that means I have to be actively responsible for my personal deliverance, meaning that I must actively gain information, insight, intel, and most importantly, execute consistently, even when the emotion has dissipated. Even when the emotion has dissipated. So, guess what? Here's some key takeaways. Here's some key takeaways. Commit to yourself starts with honoring your internal promises. Yes, this means that the value on the inside of you far exceeds the opinions of those who are on the outside of you. And it does not matter who the opinion comes from. It does not matter whether it's a family member, a friend. It does not matter. It does not matter. When you commit to yourself, honor your internal promises, then being able to forge forward in spite of all the obstacles you may face, and you will face them, understand that it's just simply a part of the process. And then dreams require sacrifice and action to become reality. The actions must supersede the comfort. The actions must supersede the comfort. And then lastly, living with purpose means aligning, watch this, daily actions with your core values. So in other words, when you are pursuing your personal greatness, living on purpose, you do not have the luxury to take any days off. You do not have the luxury to take any days off. You must be in full pursuit until the goal, the results desired become your personal realization. Commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it has left. Ladies and gentlemen, if you realize that your commitment after experiencing this information tonight could improve, I need you to drop a 7-7 in the chat. If you realize after hearing this information tonight that I'm challenging you to embrace commitment to yourself, could it be better? Could it be better? What I like for you to really wrap your arms around tonight is asking yourself the question, am I willing to commit to myself? And if you're willing to commit to yourself, I need you to drop an 888 in the chat. Now that you realize that you're willing to make a greater commitment to yourself, here's what I want you to understand about you. You are the greatest version of yourself when you realize that you are the greatest version of yourself. I want you to let that sink in. When you realize that you are the greatest version of yourself in the current state that you're in, then you will realize that you are the greatest version of yourself. No longer will you have a need or a desire to compare yourself to anyone else, because no one can be greater than you. Are you hearing me tonight? No one can be greater at being you than you. No one can be greater at being you than you. No one can be greater at being you than you. No one can be greater at being you than you. When you realize that you are great, then no longer will the external opinion of individuals prevent you from realizing that you are greatness personified. Ladies and gentlemen, I just need to understand tonight, after hearing this information, Is it possible that anyone that's in your spheres of influence, would they have benefited from being in this environment? Now, I need you to drop us a 999 in the chat. If you believe anyone connected to you tonight would have possibly benefited from this information tonight, then I need you to drop a 999 in the chat. And if that's the case, listen, every Wednesday, do not come to this environment by yourself. Share this information. This is an opportunity for the people. And we know the great individuals who are great, they have put a premium on personal development. They have put a premium on personal development. And I've made it my commitment, GeraldDRogers.com, the millionaire producer, to ensure that we serve people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity to help our families, our friends, our neighbors, and our relatives understand the greatness that's housed on the inside of us, transforming our mind, bonding our mind. And it is absolutely my privilege to serve you and your family. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Gerald D. Rogers, the millionaire producer. I will see you again next week, Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. God bless. And we will meet you at the next appointed time. And this will officially conclude this call.